Do you think you can never be scared when you come across certain situations? Watch these videos and imagine you are a character in the clip. Do you keep track of the food you keep in your storage? If you do, and you have noticed something missing, how sure are you that it's not someone else? Check this clip to find out more.
The YouTuber You Know It Joe kept finding food going missing in his apartment, but he knew he wasn't eating it. He confronted his girlfriend who lives with him about it, but she claimed she wasn't eating it. So he decided to set up a video camera to catch her, but what he caught is far more terrifying.
Of all the things the Nazis were known to embark on during their years of reign, certain projects are still yet to be understood. And in some of these, now abandoned projects, there usually is more than meets the eye.
Scary things caught on camera. Project Riese was the code name for a construction project of Nazi Germany. It consisted of underground tunnels in the Alm Mountains. However, none of the structures were finished. The true purpose of the project remains uncertain because no documentation describing Project Riese has ever been found. In this video, a group of explorers are scouting Project Riese when they come across another strange explorer. What do you think this was? Let me know in the comments and check out my page for part 2.
How are you so sure that you do not own something that is causing you to be haunted? I mean, what are the odds, right? This young couple thought the same and they were wrong.
What would you do if you owned something that caused you to be haunted? In 2009, Jay and his wife assumed ownership of his parents' house. After his wife became pregnant, strange things started happening. One day while in the attic, his wife heard a woman's voice ask, "Is that my baby?" as if it was confused whose baby she was pregnant with. Things kept escalating until one night he noticed a pitch black mass on his wife's side of the bed. Before he could realize what he was looking at, he flipped off the lights. Once he did this, his wife said "Je me suis," which means "I am myself" in French. The next night, while at a play rehearsal, they noticed one of their friends seemed a bit distracted. She kept quickly looking side to side across the room. Concerned, they asked her what was going on. She said, "I know this sounds crazy, but there's this black mass in the auditorium, and every time I look at it, it gets away." They freaked out and told her about the previous night. Once they left, they immediately called a priest to get their house blessed. While blessing the house, the priest stops and stares at a cross sitting on the wall. After the blessing, the priest asked them about the cross. The husband told him, "My wife says it's beautiful. It called to her. She had to have it." The priest was very concerned and told them that it was a Benedictine crucifix. The couple is confused and the priest continues. He tells them that Benedictine crucifixes are used in exorcisms, and it's interesting that this one called to her so strongly. The house had been a watering hole for their town in the past. The very well was in their basement. Their priest told them that spirits can travel across the waterways. Now, they get their house blessed every few months.
What did Brandon see? Why was he never found? What makes this encounter eerie? You might want to check out this next clip to get your answers.
I will never fully understand the disappearance of Brandon Swanson. So Brandon had just finished up his freshman year of college out in Minnesota, and he attends a party on the evening of May 14th, 2008. He's reported to have left the party sometime around midnight and heads to his family home, which is about 30 miles away, and for an unknown reason, he takes a back road. But at some point on this drive, his car ends up in a ditch, so he calls his parents to come pick him up, but he has to give them very specific instructions because, again, he's on a back road. But by the time they get there, they can't find him anywhere, so he gets back on the phone with them, and he says he thinks he can see their car lights in the distance, so he's gonna get out, he's gonna walk to them. He stays on this call for 40 minutes just walking through the dark towards this light, and then unexpectedly interrupts himself and just yells, "Oh shit." These were the last words his parents had ever heard from him. It's believed Brandon was actually 25 miles away, and despite search efforts, he has never been found, and no one knows what it is that he saw.
Would you believe the possibility of a medical condition where a woman has the urge to kill her child a few weeks after she gives birth? Do you think it is possible to not recognize faces? In this clip, we see facts that we never thought possible.
These are some extremely unsettling facts, and I found all these on Reddit. Morgan, Anissa, and Peyton were all very good friends, and they also had a lot of love for a specific video game called Slender Man. But Morgan and Anissa took their love for this figure, Slender Man, a little too far. You see, they worshipped this man, to the point of them feeling like they needed to sacrifice their friend to Slender Man. So one day, Morgan and Anissa took their friend Peyton into the woods where they would stab her 19 times and leave her there to die. Peyton didn't die. Peyton was able to get away and contact authorities, where eventually Morgan and Anissa will be put on trial and sent to prison. Prosopagnosia is one of the scariest conditions that I could possibly think of, and it could happen to anyone. Essentially, it happens when there's enough trauma at a very specific part of the brain, and it causes you to be unable to register faces. This causes people who suffer from this condition to be unable to recognize their family, and in some cases, their own face. Now, majority of us already know what postpartum depression is. It's when a woman will give birth and then sink into a very deep depression following the birth. It's very normal and it's very sad. But do you know what postpartum psychosis is? Postpartum psychosis is a condition that happens after a woman gives birth to a child. Essentially, immediately after the birth, it will cause the woman to have an undying urge to kill the baby. I know this video got a little bit sad and darker in specific spots, but that's why.
It is just a game or a movie, but sometimes some people have a hard time leaving the concept of a game or a movie as a plot. This explains why these two teenage girls would do something so disturbing to their friend.
The man in the back seat nearly killed this woman. One night, a woman was at a basketball game with her friends. After the match, she went home. As she drove out from the parking lot, she noticed a red truck following her. The truck was still following her a few minutes later. However, as she drove farther out of town, the truck was not to be gotten rid of, and every turn she made, the truck did the same thing. Things heated up even further when the truck began flashing his high beams at her, flooding her car with light. She soon drove into her driveway and jumped out of the car, screaming, "Call the police." When the cops arrived, they attempted to arrest him, but he pointed to the woman's car. "You don't want me," he said. "You want him." A man with a knife was crouched behind the driver's seat. The man in the truck was just trying to save the woman because
It all seems like a peaceful night, then suddenly it is not, and the whole house is left in shock.
The dogs are ready for bed. It's just a peaceful night here. Get ready to go to bed myself. What the fuck is that? What? Oh, God! Fuck!
This clip is one of the weirdest moments to ever be caught on camera. 1 second you are about to show your online viewers some new hack you found, then really scary things begin to occur.
Hey guys, so someone commented in one of my videos like the bronzer highlighter I use, and I use the Milani 05 Soleil. So I'm gonna try that on, and no.
What are the odds that the YouTuber or TikTok star showing you amazing things on the timeline could turn out to be a murderer, intentionally or unintentionally?
YouTubers who became terrifying murderers. Trey Sessler. Trey Sessler had a YouTube channel that was called Mr. Anime, and he would review anime characters and make skits. Trey was doing quite well with his channel and started to gain more and more subscribers, but this all changed on the 20th of March 2012. On this day, Trey Sessler woke up and decided to end the lives of his mother, father, and brother. There was no actual explanation to why he did this, but he was caught later that day, and he is currently serving a life sentence in prison.
This young man was seen laughing and smiling while his life sentence was being read by the court. Perhaps he really was insane, as his legal counsel argued.
Most disturbing courtroom moments of all time. If you guys like these videos and want to see more, make sure you like and follow.
At 17, Michael traveled from Minnesota to Iowa to rob a store. There, he shot and killed Vicky Bowman Hall, an innocent store clerk. At this point, Michael was on a godless rampage. The teenager then went to another Iowa county, where he shot Sheila Myers, another innocent store clerk. When Michael was asked to recount what happened, he smirked and described the half-gasp and half-scream Sheila Myers made when he pulled the trigger. He confessed that it made him feel powerful. Michael showed no remorse from the arrest to the trial.
Cold-blooded murder, young man. And your counsel wants us to believe that you lack the capacity, that you were insane. And I don't buy into that. You are dangerous. You are unpredictable. And there is no place for you in an open, law-abiding society. Prison for the rest of your life is the only alternative. And the court intends to follow through.
When the sentence was being read, Michael was seen smiling and laughing. This is definitely not the behavior of someone who is remorseful. According to Michael's warped philosophy, killing someone is like pouring a bucket of water on someone entering a pool. By this, he meant that people are going to die anyway, so it makes no difference if they die at 80 or
Before you go around trying to pet these animals, you should know that they are dangerous, especially the innocent-looking panda.
Animals that look innocent but are dangerous. BT.1.
If you enjoyed watching these videos, don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comment section.